Hi guys, Kazuma here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my Gear Chronicle V-Series deck profile. So let's start. First of all, you would need 4 Interdimensional Beast Metallica Phoenix. You cannot ride this card. It's your standard, you know, it's your standard grade 4, triple drive of course. And if you're playing, this deck profile, it actually plays more like premium, or G series. So that's all you need to know. No skill, it's just a standard stride. It feels like a standard stride. So yeah. Next, Interdimensional Beast, Isolate Lion. Now for this card, it's a bit different. When placed, look at the top card of your deck and call it to the rear guard circle. Next, once per turn, retire a rear guard, search your deck up to 1 grade 3 and call it to the rear guard circle. Shuffle your deck and that unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of the turn. This unit could actually be combined with Chronojet Dragon, and later I'm going to be showing you what I mean. Okay, next, you will need Chronojet Dragon. Now let's look at the skill. The first skill, which is discard 1 or more cards that's equal to a grade 3, and search your deck for up to 1 grade 4 and ride it as stand. And until the end of the battle, you may ride this grade 3 from the soul as rest. So it's more like a time leap. It's more like a time leap in my opinion. Now for the second skill, Auto Vanguard and Rearguard. When it attacks, counterblast 1. Until the end of the battle, this unit gets plus 5,000 and your opponent cannot call sentinels from his or her hand. So this is what I said, in which you could use this unit to superior call this unit. So it's very useful. Just want to make that clear. Next, for grade 3s, I want to be showing Steam Gunner, your Laganda. Kind of a hard name to pronounce. When it attacks, counterblast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 5,000. Very useful. Just want to make that clear. So these are the grade 4 and grade 3 units. As much as possible, you want to get into Chronojet Dragon, obviously. But the support grade 3 also works. Alright, now let's go to the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2 lineup, you will need for Smoke Gear Dragon, Vanguard and Rearguard ability. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of the battle. If you rolled a grade 4 this turn, soul last 1, draw a card. If you have a Vanguard with Chronojet Dragon, when you would discard a card from your hand, this can be regarded as a grade 3. So you could use this for strides, and you're able to get a free card by soul blasting if you have, if you're able to ride a grade 4 this turn. Very powerful. You can combine this with Chronojet and Metallica Phoenix. This is actually my main grade 2. I just want to make that clear. Next, of course, Steam Mechanic Naboo. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, bind the card from your drop zone. Your opponent cannot call a grade 1 or greater from their hand until the cannot call a grade 1 or greater card from their hand until the end of the battle. And at the end of the battle, put this into your soul and draw a card. So first of all, this card actually helps you in terms of guard restrictions. It restricts your opponent's guarding abilities. It's very good. And at the same time, it also helps for soul charging, and you even get a free card out of it. So it's very powerful. Next, Gun Basil Dragon, one of my favorite heavy hitters in the game. When it attacks, counterblast 1. This unit gets 5,000 until the end of the turn for each grade of your Vanguard. And until the end of the battle, bind this unit. You can only use him once. Oh, and if you're using a grade 4, like I said, it gets plus 20k. So it's 29,000 attack. Can you imagine how strong that is? But you can only use him once, so I only place 2 of him in the battlefield because I think that's how much you only need him for. Next, Steam Breaker Doodoo. Her ability is, during your turn, if you discarded a card from your hand, this unit and all of your units in the same column as this gets plus 5k, so it's very powerful. It helps with the power boost. If you're in the same column as this unit, it gets, plus 5,000. If you combine it with this, there's synergy between them two. Heavy hitters, this one can have up to 5ks, and this one can have up to 20k, so it's very powerful. It's very useful in the battlefield. Next, I'll be showing you another card. Next is actually Gear's Repeater. When placed from hand, Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of the turn. It's a standard power-up card, nothing too special about it, but you still need him because, of course, you need the card that will be able to use the Soul Blast. Next, Bearing Rover. When an attack hits, discard a card from your hand and draw a card. Helps you if you have bad hand, so you could actually configure your cards in your hand. Second skill, which is the skill you probably want to use the most. When this card is discarded, it may be discarded as a grade 3. So you have to use this as much as possible as a stride sacrifice, if you may call it. Like I said, this deck plays more like not V Premium. It plays more like Premium and G era, so you would need a lot of cards that would be able to, get you to stride as much as you can. Next, one of my favorite units, Steam Scotter Kalin. When it boosts Soul Blast 1, until the end of the battle, your opponent cannot intercept and can only call up to 3 Guardians. At the end of the battle, bind this unit. Now this is very powerful. I placed up to 4 of this because your opponent has no choice but to guard up to 3 cards from their hand and no intercepts counted. And like I said, it helps your opponent be pressured. Your opponent can only call up to 3, Guardians until the end of the battle, so it's very powerful. It annoys your opponent into guarding only 3 cards, and that's a lot. Now let's go for the triggers. Steam Bomber, Deagle, 3 of them. Next, Ring Worker, 3 of them as well. Next, Steam Maiden Iluru, 4. Next, you would also need Steam Guard Castilla. It's your standard draw PG. And lastly, I added 2 extra draw triggers, Lucky Pot Draco Kid. Now, I know what you guys are asking, why would I put so many draw triggers? In this deck, you would need to have a bigger hand. Having the biggest hand cards is actually the strength of this deck, and I wanted to show that. So, as much as possible, having many draw triggers is what you need. And, of course, my starting Vanguard is going to be Chronojet Dragon. When rolled, draw card, then if you have a Vanguard grade 1 or less, blah 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 blah. Once you're able to use Chronojet Dragon, you may be able to use Quick Shield if you're going, if you're going second. Now for this deck, I highly recommend using Force 2. Force 2 should always be placed in the Vanguard. So even if you have 1 or 2 of it, it's very powerful already. You will be able to pressure your opponent to the max. So like I said, just try to utilize this deck as much as you can. My decks are a bit weird because some of them are budget, some of them are not. But for this deck, I spent a bit of time to make it budget friendly. At the same time, I made sure that it's enough to pressure your opponent to the max. So, like I said, this is going to be my deck profile. And if you guys have questions, type it in the comments below. I'm interested. and I still have a lot of decks to show you. This is just one of a few of it. Gear Chronicle is actually very fun to use, I just want to make that clear, but sometimes it's a bit confusing and it's a bit risky. That's most of the comments I get, and personally, that's also my opinion. Anyways, like I said, that's all for today. If you guys have any questions about Gear Chronicle and how to use this deck, feel free to type it down in the comments. You guys can chat me on Discord, and of course, maybe next time I'll show you guys more. Anyways, that's all for today. Peace out.